Hey guys, Ash here from C4E Tech and welcome to another episode of Ash Answers. Ash Answers is a show where we answer the questions that you tweet out using the hashtag Ash Answers. Now without further ado, let's get started. Before we actually jump into questions, let's address the elephant in the room. So yesterday was Sundar's last working day with C4E Tech. After we tweeted this out, we had a lot of questions from you guys on what happened. There's no big story here. It's just that he wanted to do different things, and it is what it is. It's kind of people do something and then they move on to other things, and it's just a simple case of that. So we wish Sundar all the best in his future endeavors. That was the tweet, and I'm just like repeating the tweet. Anyway, let's now get to the questions. Let's get to tech. Let's get back to tech. We have rumors that the Mi A2, Mi A1 2018 is going to be launched soon. But on the other hand, rumors about a budget Pixel phone in the same price range. Do you think what's going to happen? Google will stop Android One program with Xiaomi and go head to head with Xiaomi is the question. They could. I mean, it's not unheard of. Like if you look at it, they have the Nokia 8 Sirocco and the Pixel 2 selling at similar prices. And the 8 Sirocco is part of the Android One program. The Pixel is Google's own Pixel phone, right? So they could probably do something like that. I don't think the Android One program is dependent on what Google sells and doesn't. It's just Google's relationship with manufacturers or brands rather. Should I upgrade to the OnePlus 6 from my OnePlus 3T? Logically, it seems like a reasonable upgrade because I generally don't suggest single generation upgrades. So OnePlus 3T to 5, 5 to 6, it's 1.5 generations. We still don't know a lot about the OnePlus 6, so let's wait for the official announcement before we commit to it. But if your 3T is running well enough, I wouldn't, as of today with the 845, there's nothing great that's come up. If you like the notch that's supposed to be there, and if the cameras are a lot better, then yeah, you could consider upgrading. But if the cameras don't deliver, and if you dislike the notch, if you aren't a fan of the notch, then the OnePlus 3T is still an excellent device. The 821 is still a great chip. If anyone's using a phone with the 820 or 821, let us know in the comments below. Do you feel it's still a great chip? How has it held up? How's your experience been with the Snapdragon 820, 821? Let me know. Why manufacturers are not providing NFC in budget phones, even if there's processor like 625, 630, 636 or even 660, Mi 6X, there's no NFC, but Moto G5 Plus has NFC, it's also a budget phone. So the main reason here is NFC is valued a lot more in the West than it is in India and China. So when you look at phones like, the Mi A1, or rather the Mi 6X, and phones like this, these are releasing predominantly in India and China, and in the West there is just a lot more, people give a lot more weightage and importance to NFC, and the Indian audience or the Chinese audience doesn't seem to give the same importance, at least in the eyes of the brands, and it's a small little cost-cutting measure. Good question. Why 18:9 is not called 2:1? Hope I will get Asus Zenfone Max Pro M1. Wish me good luck. Good luck, buddy. Why it's not called 2:1 is because it's easier to compare a 19:9 to an 18:9. It's like a little bit longer, or 18.5:9 in the case of Samsung, or 17:9 in the case of the original Mi Mix. So 16:9 was what it was, then Mi Mix was 17:9, and then when brands came up with 18:9, if they said 2:1, it would be a totally different thing. People wouldn't know how to compare. It was just easy to market, and that's why that ratio actually exists. What will the price of Mi A2 in India, the lowest variant, and when will it be available? So Mi A2, we still haven't had a confirmation on that. Mi 6X, yes. The Mi 5X was the Mi A1, so A2 or A1 2018 might be coming soon. We haven't heard any rumors of dates from Xiaomi, but if it does come, I don't see Xiaomi hiking prices. They haven't really done it. They've done it in a different way with the Redmi Note 5, wherein the real Note 5 is the Note 5 Pro, so they have hiked prices, but a follow-up to the Mi A1, I don't see them hiking at more than 1,000 rupees at max. Do you feel there is a sudden increase of stock Android phones now, and the good and bad for custom UI? Yes, we are seeing a lot of stock Android phones. That's basically because we, the end consumers, have repeatedly been saying stock Android is better. We want stock Android, Lagwares, MIUI, all that brands are hearing, and they are giving us more stock Android. And they've also realized that stock Android is easier to well, update for them, saves them money, and secondly, it is a USP today. Today it's a selling point, stock Android. It wasn't a few years back. So that's why we're seeing a lot more stock Android phones. Should I upgrade from Redmi Note 4 to Redmi Note 5? Hell no, same chip. Single generation upgrades generally I disagree with. But Note 4 to Note 5, nah, it's a little bit better. It's got 18x9, a little bit better camera, but still it's the same chip basically, and I wouldn't want you to upgrade from the Note 4 to the Note 5. Is the Zenfone Max Pro best for photography? Hope you reply and love your work. Thank you. I'm not gonna call it the best for photography, not even in that segment, because, well, the cameras are probably the weakest aspect of the Zenfone Max Pro. I'm not saying it's bad. My review should go live tomorrow, so make sure you check it out. But I'm not gonna say it's a great camera either. It's an okay camera. You buy a Zenfone Max Pro not for the camera, you buy it for the battery life, for the performance. It nails all that. It nails the pricing. If Asus have availability, then it nails that too. You don't have to wait for a flash sale. The cameras are probably the weakest link. Why Apple don't use Type-C port in iPhones? Apple don't use that because proprietary Lightning means they support all the access. I mean, as in they control all the accessories coming out. They can put a markup on stuff. They can license the technology, meaning brands pay a little bit of something to Apple every time they use their technology. Using Type-C means Apple would not make all that money. So that's basically it. Hey Ash, which one is better in terms of overall performance, Redmi Note 5 Pro or Asus Zenfone Max Pro M1? I'm gonna have to say both are kind of similar. The Zenfone Max Pro is really fast, and so is the Redmi Note 5 Pro. They are more or less similar. We could do a speed test and show you a few seconds here and there, but realistically with day-to-day, you're not gonna go wrong with either of these phones. The Zenfone Max Pro runs nearly stock Android, so can we expect monthly security patches like Android One device? And they had also told that they might provide 2 major Android updates. Your thoughts on that? So monthly security patches isn't happening. What we are hearing is bi-monthly security patches, so once in 2 months. So that should be cool. Moto is doing once in 3 months, so at least better than that. They have said they intend to provide, I mean, we will provide is not the verbiage there. So the fact that they have a loophole right there today leaves me a little bit wondering as to if they would do it. Personally, if they give it Android P on time, a stable release, I'd be more than happy. For a budget phone, one good update, not one update, but one good stable update should be, good. Can I rely on Nokia 7 Plus or wait for OnePlus 6 for camera? So by rely, if you mean should you buy a Nokia 7 Plus today, I would say if you have the money for a OnePlus 6, which should come in at least, mid 30s to late 30s, at that price, if you're willing to go for that, then yeah, wait for the OnePlus 6. But if you already own a Nokia 7 Plus, I'd say hang on for a bit, get the OnePlus 6T. What happens if we keep other phone in Zenfone Sound box? Will it boost sound? Just curious to know. Again, excellent question, my friend. Yes, it will. It's just a passive cardboard box. It's nothing special. When you angle any phone with a downwards firing speaker, it should boost the audio. There's nothing, there's no technology or anything into it. It's just channeling the audio. So kind of similar to how when you're listening to music on a phone and you cup your hands like this and it's hitting you straight and you feel like the audio level's a little up, that's basically what Asus is doing here. Do point-and-shoot cameras have existence these days? Mid-rangers now have great cameras. Yes, they do. In fact, it's a lot lower than in the past, but they still have a niche for themselves. Like the Sony RX100 Mark V is one of the cameras that we use, and it's an excellent camera. It's the kind of zoom that you get with a point and shoot, you can't replicate that on a smartphone. The sensors are also much bigger because you have this size only for camera stuff. Whereas on a phone, the modem needs to go in, the SoC, which needs to be able to handle games and multitask between multiple apps. I mean, these are much more specialized things that go into a camera, and cameras can be thicker, they can be heavier, they'll have replaceable batteries and all that. So point and shoot still have a niche existence. So I love my RX100 Mark V, by the way. LG G6 at 18K, is it worth buying today? Hell yes, definitely go ahead, buy it. It's a great phone. If you're getting it at 18K, it's a great deal. Are you going to import the Mi 6X from China? If so, then when? And how much time Xiaomi will take to launch it in India? How much time Xiaomi is going to take? Now, that's a question only Xiaomi can answer. I am trying to import one, but when I will get it, I cannot tell, because I've had a Oppo R15 with customs for a month. My Redmi Note 5 Pro China unit came in 1 month after being stuck with customs, so I really have no clue as to how long it's going to take for customs to clear my next package. I hope to get it soon. My fingers are crossed. So yeah. Zenfone 3 with superb cameras at 10K on Flipkart versus Zenfone Max Pro. Which one should I buy? Your opinions. Again, I mean, today we've got a lot of excellent questions. I'm gonna lean a little bit towards the Zenfone 3, because it was originally it's still on Oreo. That's something it's got going for it. It was supposed to be a higher priced phone. It's definitely got much better optics, and 625 plus 3000 mAh is, I mean, it's not going to be better than the Max Pro, but it's still good battery life. Not 3000, it might be lesser, I don't remember, but you know, it is probably lesser, I don't remember. Anyway, if you remember, let me know in the comments. It should be a good deal. It's got a much better build, looks, but if performance is highest priority to you, if battery life is highest priority to you, then the Max Pro. So it's like both have their sets of pros and cons. Max Pro will probably be supported long after the Zenfone 3 support stops. The Zenfone Max Pro is priced very competitive. Do you think Zenfone 5 will also launch below 20? Well, we wish. I hope to see it. Given how aggressive, because Asus could have matched Xiaomi's pricing and they could have still had a phone that's as competitive, but they don't want to just match prices. They want to go absolutely all out here. So that shows that they're really considering India a very important market today. And based on that, if the Zenfone 5 were to come, based on what I'm hearing, we are expecting a Q3 release for it. So after June, if it does come to India around that point at under 20K, they should be able to do it. I think the odds of seeing it at that point under 20 or at least 19,999 is quite high. I have a OnePlus 3T, it's working fab. Should I still plan on upgrading to 6 or wait for the OnePlus 7? I have no issues with my phone. A lot of hashtags, awesome. Dude, if you have no issues with your phone, don't upgrade. Plain and simple. Again, like I said in the earlier one, I think these are similar questions, I'm sorry. Well, if the cameras aren't that great and if the cameras aren't very attractive and the notch doesn't do anything for you, then probably wait. The 3D is still a heck of a deal. At least wait till the 60, if not the 7. Does Redmi Note 5 Pro China variant support dual 4G VoLTE SIM cards? Yes, it does. Which is the best smartphone under this price, 10,999? Honor 9 Lite or the new Asus Zenfone Max Pro? Which one do you suggest? I'm gonna have to go with the Zenfone Max Pro. If you like the looks, then the Honor 9 Lite is excellent. It's not a bad performer. It's quite good. But the Zenfone Max Pro, it's got that battery. It's got the 636 going for it. And it's just that much newer. It's got stock Android, which is again a big plus for it. So I don't know, I'd lean a little bit towards the Zenfone Max Pro, but if you like a compact form factor, you value the looks of the phone a lot, then the Honor 9 Lite might be the one for you. And I kind of get confused between the 999 Lite Honor. It's just, so yeah, that's why it took me a couple of seconds. Asus 4GB and Asus 6GB, why cameras change both models? Would you think better cameras in the 6GB over Redmi Note 5 Pro? Exactly, this is what Asus is going for. So they know, like Asus knows that their cameras aren't excellent. Like if you look at the Zenfone Max Pro launch event, they compared it to the Redmi at every single instance possible. They threw up numbers with the Redmi Note 5 and the 5 Pro everywhere, but when it came to photography, they weren't showing side-by-side images with the Redmi anywhere. Given that they were being so aggressive in comparing to the Redmi Note, I expected them to, but they know that cameras are in somewhere that they're doing well with this phone. At least that's how it felt to me. So I feel for those people like me who feel that way, they still want to give an alternative with the 664 variant where they throw in some kick-ass cameras. At least I expect to see some great photos with it. based on what I expect from Asus, based on what I've seen. Do you think that all the 3 cameras on the P20 are just a gimmick since Google did almost all of it and made one of the best cameras with software optimization only? Not really. The Pixel 2 cannot really zoom in, so that's not something you can do with software. You can, but it's not going to be anywhere close to hardware. So that's one camera. And the low light photography on the P20 Pro, I would say if I wouldn't have seen it myself, I would have said it's a gimmick. You could have just done it a similar way with the Pixel 2 kind of setup. But after seeing it, it's kind of, you've got to see it, guys. The P20 Pro review should be coming out soon, in the next week or something, and you should watch it. The cameras are just so damn good. Could you confirm if both the Wi-Fi bands are present in the Zenfone Max Pro? If not, how does it affect daily use? It doesn't have support for 5 GHz Wi-Fi, so it's kind of capped. Like theoretically, we can talk about a lot of numbers. Realistically, your Wi-Fi speeds would be capped to around 50 Mbps. Like we have a 100 Mbps connection in the office, we get around 50 on the Zenfone Max Pro. So right next to the router, that is. So how is it going to affect your day-to-day usage? It is not. Unless you're going to download an extremely big file, you'll have to wait a little longer. But realistically, even for streaming 4K, you could do it on less than 50 Mbps connections. I was streaming not 4K, full HD. You can easily stream on, single-digit Mbps connections. So 4K shouldn't be a problem either, but why would you want to stream 4K on a full HD display, right? That's the first question. So overall, day-to-day usage, I don't see any difference. It's kind of a little sad that it doesn't have it, but realistically on a smartphone with a full HD panel, even on a smartphone with a 4K panel, it doesn't make a huge difference. So not a big loss. Why all tier 2 brands like Xiaomi, Asus, and many tier 1 brands like Huawei, OnePlus stick to full HD plus displays even on their flagships? This is a little confusing. OnePlus and Huawei are tier 1, Xiaomi and Asus are tier 2. I mean, Asus are going to regret this when they hear it. Huawei and OnePlus are going to be overjoyed. But anyway, the reason they stick to Full HD Plus is, again, Quad HD doesn't really offer a lot over Full HD. It's just going to bring down your battery numbers, maybe bring down benchmark numbers for on-screen stuff. And it's also gonna kind of increase the cost, right? So these brands, every brand you mentioned over here, are trying to be too damn price sensitive. They're undercutting all those brands with Quad HD panels by a lot. There are exceptions like the Honor 8 Pro, of course, but that's what these brands are trying to do. So every penny saved is price cut somewhere, which means better chances of their stocks moving, better chances of people starting to feel they are tier 1 brands. So which is why they're still full HD. And the reason why every one of us, most of us at least, are still buying these phones is because we also at some place we realize that Quad HD, Full HD, it's not really that big a deal when on this smaller display. I mean, come on guys, I'm using a Full HD monitor myself. I mean, I can look at a 27-inch monitor with Full HD. I can't really, looking at a 5-inch screen or a 6-inch screen with Full HD is not going to be difficult, right? So those are all the questions that I picked for today's episode of Ash Answers. This is the new setup. This is kind of like semi-final new backdrop and everything. What do you guys think about it? Love it, hate it? Let me know in the comments below. And I guess that's it. If you hated the video, you know what to do. If you did like it, go ahead, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on notifications if you haven't yet. So thanks a lot for watching. Till next time, my name's Ash. You've been watching C4E Tech, and I'm signing off. You guys have a great day. Bye-bye.